Simpsons Watch Me Review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Season 11. Let's begin. Beyond Blunderdome. Homer helps Mel Gibson rewrite his remake of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, turning it into an ultra-violent action film, leading to a chaotic chase with studio executives after the controversial new ending is rejected. This has to be the most uninteresting episode of The Simpsons ever, except for the dog with the mischievous eyes at the ending. Brother's Little Helper. Bart is prescribed with a new drug called to control his behavior after a destructive prank. For some reason, this reminds me of the Captain Underpants book. Captain Underpants and the sensational saga of Sir Stinks-a-Lot, the 12th book in their franchise, also being last until his Dave Pilkey started making Dogman, which is the best book ever. I like how Bart Simpson is now portrayed as a psychopath who is now paranoid all the time. Weird, but okay. Weird episode. Guess who's coming to criticize dinner? Homer becomes a food critic for the Springfield Shopper, initially writing glowing reviews with Lisa's help, but then turns vindicative after other critics advise him to be negative, leading Springfield chefs to plot his murder, culminating in an attempt to poison him with an eclair at the food fair. I mean, this is a fine episode, but when Homer's negative, he's kind of like too negative. And the other chefs, guys, there's still some room for improvement. You don't need to take it out on the critic, bro. Everyone can have their own opinions. Even if it's something stupid. Unless it's Cars 2. Then we'll have problems. Treehouse of Horror 10. The 10th installment of Treehouse of Horror. And how is it? It's kind of good. The first segment, I Know What You Italy did, where the Simpsons cover up accidentally killing Ned Flanders. That one might be my favorite out of this episode, since the scenery is just awesome. And the second segment is Desperately Seeking Xena, in which Bart and Lisa get superpowers. That one was kind of basic, so I didn't really like that one. And the last segment is Life's a Glitch, Then You Die, a Y2K themed story about an electronic apocalypse. It was interesting, but then it just gets kind of mid. So overall, a pretty decent Treehouse of Horror. E-I, annoyed grunt. Homer, fleeing a duel, takes his family to his old farm, creates a tobacco-tomato hybrid called Tomako, and faces the consequences when the cigarette company destroys his crop. This is a pretty good episode. The dueling glove at the beginning is just golden. Also, Homer Simpson as a farmer is something I never thought I would ever see, so there's that too. Also, I think this is the episode with the Sneeds feed and Seeds, formerly Chucks. And man, if you know, you know. Hello Gutter, hello Fatter. Homer becomes a local celebrity after bowling a perfect 300 game, but his fame quickly fades, leading him to bond with Maggie, who ends up saving him from drowning, and then she then bowls a perfect game herself. See, we don't usually get a lot of Homer and Maggie episodes, so it's nice to get one. Like, when was the last time we got one like this? What, Homer alone? Then again, the plot goes nowhere, so it kind of drops down a few points, so I guess it's pretty decent. 8, Misbehaving. Congratulations! This episode gets the award of episode that I do not care about. Goodbye! Oh, you want me to explain the plot of this episode and see why I hate it? Okay. So Pooh and Manjula have octuplets, and after Manjula takes Viridian drugs, leading to overwhelming exhaustion, and Pooh making a deal with a promoter to exhibit the babies at the zoo, requiring Homer's help to rescue them. Oh, that's gotta be the most boring and uninteresting plot ever. Good job. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking like this now. This is very annoying. Take My Wife, Sleaze. Homer forms a motorcycle gang called Hell Satans after winning a motorcycle, leading to conflict with the real gang of the same name that kidnaps Marge, forcing Homer to rescue her. Oh no, a Simpsons family member gets kidnapped and Homer has to go save her. Gee, I wonder where I heard that plot from. Finding Nemo? Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget? Okay, well that came after this episode, so it's not really... What I'm trying to say is that I've literally heard this plot a bunch of times, so it's not really that special of a plot, so yeah. Griff of the Magi. Springfield Elementary is privatized by a Tory company, Kid First Industries, which uses the students as a focus group to develop a new toy called Funzo, a sinister doll that encourages kids to be naughty. Gary Coleman the ghost in this episode. What you talking about, Will? It's not really funny. Like, it doesn't have that. It's not on the humor side of things. It's just going for the plot. The plot is okay, I guess. So this is an okay episode. Little Big Mom. Don't take that out of context, please. Marge breaks her leg skiing, leaving Lisa in charge of the house. Frustrated by Homer and Bart's behavior, Lisa pretends to have leprosy, inspired by a vision of Lucille Ball to teach him a lesson. You know, I wanted to hate this episode, but then I realized that Homer and Bart are kind of jerks, so they actually kind of deserved it. I mean, sure, Homer is my favorite character, but sometimes he can be a dumb and consummate jerk sometimes. Same with Bart. Also, the stupid sexy Flanders is golden. So it's really hard to hate this episode, if I'm being honest. Maybe I hated it at first, but I don't hate it now. Faith Oth. Bart is convinced he's a faith healer after he helps a revivalist extract Homer's head from a bucket. So this is what Bart's inner child couldn't pull off. This is a really funny episode. That's all I gotta say. The Mansion Family. Homer house sits Mr. Burns' mansion while Mr. Burns is at the Mayo Clinic, leading Homer to throw a party at Burns' yacht in international waters when they are attacked by Chinese pirates. This is such a random episode, but at the same time, that's what makes it funny. Saddlesaur Galacta. Homer and Bart rescue a diving horse named Duncan and turn him into a racehorse, leading to conflict with the Security Society of Jockeys while Lisa protests her school band's unfair loss in the competition. This is literally a mixture of Simpsons roasting on an open fire and Lisa's pony. This shows how they are really running ideas, but they're both combining episode plots. This is such a weird episode. Like, it's not even funny. Alone Again, Naturally. Wow! A recurring Simpsons character dies. You don't see that every day. Well, I guess Bleeding Gums Murphy and maybe Marvin Monroe. But they're not really recurring characters. They're more like guest star characters. Maude Flanders dies after being hit by t-shirts fired from a cannon at a racetrack, prompting Homer to help grieving Ned Flanders re-enter the dating world, which leads to a crisis of faith for Ned before it's restored by a Christian rock singer. Wow, this episode is sad. I feel bad for Ned Flanders. But at the same time, after Maude Flanders dies and the plot changes to Ned Flanders finding new love, it gets kind of uninteresting. But whatever. Solid episode. Missionary Impossible. Homer fleeing to a South Pacific island after scamming a PBS pledge drive out of $10,000. This is a mid-episode and it kind of ends abruptly, which is sad. I want to know what happens next. This has the Trouble with Trillions situation, where it just ends abruptly for no reason. Lisa Jr. is just what? Blah, 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 blah. Mo gets plastic surgery after being deemed too ugly for Duff Beer Calendar, transforming him into a handsome soap opera star on the show It Never Ends. Guess I can't say the word Duff anymore. Wow. This is literally just the Handsome Squidward episode. I mean, I guess it's fine. The only funny thing about this episode is Duff Man can't breathe. Other than that, it's just nah. Still a solid episode though. Bart to the future. Wow. Bart sees a vision of his future after a slacker musician living with Ralph Wickham while his sister Lisa becomes the president. Because of course she does, of the United States, and faces a national debt crisis. It's more interesting than Lisa's wedding, but it's kind of boring at times, so it stops getting interesting, but whatever. Dave's a wine and doses! Barney Gumble gets sober after seeing a video of his drunken addicts at Antiques. Much to Homer's dismay, while Bart and Lisa enter a photo contest for the new phone book cover, leading to a forest fire that Barney and Homer must rescue them from, while the final photo of the rescue making the cover. This is a pretty good episode. Barney giving up beer. That's something I didn't expect. Oh wait, it changes in the later seasons. Oh, I guess it's not really a big of a change then if it just ends in the later seasons. Kill the alligator and run. Homer's stress-induced insomnia leads the family to a chaotic spring break vacation in Florida, where they accidentally kill the state's beloved alligator mascot, Captain Jack, and go on to run from the law, eventually ending up in the chain gang before the alligator is revealed to be alive. Apparently, this episode got cut a bit. Well, then, just shorten the intro or just have a shorter couch gag. Didn't think of that, didn't you? Yeah, you should hire me to work for The Simpsons. And yeah, this episode's kind of boring. So yeah. Last tap dance in Springfield. Lisa takes up tap dancing after being inspired by a movie, but struggles with a demanding teacher, a former child star named Vicky Valentine, while Bart and Milhouse hide out at the mall to avoid summer camp. Both of the plots are actually really interesting, making this episode a good episode to watch. It's a mad Marge. Marge becomes paranoid that Otto's jilted bride, Becky, who moves in with the Simpsons, is trying to steal their family and kill her, leading to madness and a really bad episode. Behind the laughter. How do we go from a completely bad episode to an actual good one? That doesn't make any sense. A meta mockumentary style episode of The Simpsons that parodies VH1's Behind the Music, revealing the family as actors in the sitcom, detailing their fictional rise to fame, a dramatic fall due to infighting and addiction, an eventual reunion orchestrated by Willie Nelson. This is the most interesting episode of The Simpsons ever, and I like it. Although it might now ruin some of the show's continuity, but I don't care. This is still a really top-notch episode. Here's my final ranking, and I'm done with season 11. See y'all when I review season 12. Oh boy.